Hi everyone, I'm Asha, an Akashic Records reader, blogger, and podcaster. In this series, we will demystify the Akashic Records by bringing to you bite-sized contents on frequently asked questions relating to the Akashic Records. We will also explore topics relating to spirituality, as well as practical application, learnings, and reflections in the Akashic Records. My Akashic Masters are very excited to join us in this journey. We send much love, light, and blessings to all. Welcome to episode 5 on what an Akashic Records session is and is not. In this episode, we will share on what an Akashic Records session is, which is 1. Focus on yourself, and 2. Connect deeper to yourself. We will also answer a common query of why do we even need to engage an Akashic Records reader to connect to ourselves deeper. We will also share on what an Akashic Records session is not, which is 1. Meddling with other people's lives, problems, and issues. 2. Fortune telling. And 3. Communicating with the deceased. Now let us look into what an Akashic Record session is about. First, it focuses on yourself. My Akashic Masters remind that when you access your Akashic Records, whether through a reader or on your own, it is your own Akashic Records that is being made available. Your unique Akashic Records that journals down your soul's experiences from one lifetime to the next. It is not somebody else's Akashic Records. Therefore, when you access your Akashic Records, you are, in fact, seeking clarity and healing for yourself, as well as your interactions with others. The Akashic Masters will only reveal what is necessary to allow you to heal, learn, grow, and evolve as aligned to your highest good. Second, an Akashic Record session allows you to connect deeper to yourself. My Akashic Masters share that we are no longer interested in superficial or surface examining of present issues, but really going deeper to identify underlying root causes, whether it originated in past lives or this lifetime. As you dive deeply into your Akashic Records, you may start assessing parts of yourself in other lifetimes or timelines that you may have forgotten or be unaware of, which are still influencing how you think, act, or feel in this lifetime. As we gather these lost parts of ourselves, heal and release what no longer serves, the purpose ultimately is for us to come home to ourselves, accepting, embracing, and uniting all parts of ourselves, the good and the bad. Now let us look into a common query of why do we even need to engage an Akashic Records reader to connect deeper to ourselves? Can't we do it ourselves? The short answer is yes, of course you can, if you learn how to access your own Akashic Records. You may then wonder, how can an Akashic Records reader value add to you? There are a couple of reasons. 1. The reader can approach your issues from a more objective and neutral perspective, simply as an outsider. His or her role is to relay everything that is received from your Akashic Masters, be it words, images, sensations, or a sense of knowing. At all times, there's no vested interest involved in seeking a particular answer that may interrupt or block the flow of messages from your Akashic Masters. This enhances the accuracy of the messages received. 2. If the reader has been regularly doing their own inner work, it creates the space within them to be a clearer channel to receive messages from your Akashic Masters. There will be less interferences or disruptions from their lower personality or ego to confuse or corrupt the messages received from your Akashic Masters. Third, in certain situations, the reader may be able to access your blind spots, those parts of yourself that you may not be aware of or know readily. Everyone, including the best readers, benefit from having their Akashic records accessed by other trusted readers from time to time, especially on challenging issues that they are unable to easily heal, release, and resolve on their own. Now let us look into what an Akashic record session is not about. First, it is not about meddling with other people's lives, problems, and issues. As we shared earlier, when you access your Akashic records, you are in fact seeking clarity and healing for yourself and your interactions with others. At all times, the focus is on yourself. Therefore, when you access your Akashic records, it is not a means for you to probe into other people's lives, problems, and issues, to the extent that it doesn't concern you and your role to play in that relationship. The Akashic Masters remind that it is everyone's free will and choice to decide whether they want to access their own Akashic records, and if yes, what questions to ask. Therefore, as much as possible, the Akashic Masters respect each person's decision, and it is not for anyone else to override that person's decision. Second, an Akashic record session is not about fortune telling. My Akashic Masters share that it is not about them giving 10, 20, or 25 years prediction of how the future will pan out for each person, or even map out the lifetime of each person. In fact, such future predictions are tapping into the present energies of the person, which the person is most empowered to change if he or she so desires. Hence, doing future readings for a person is doing the person a huge disservice by showing to them what the future may look like based on their present energies, as if cast in stone. Nothing is cast in stone. You are empowered to change and create your own reality at every moment. Lastly, an Akashic record session is not about communicating with the deceased. That is a separate module on spirit communication, which does not relate to the Akashic records. That said, in rare cases, if your deceased loved ones are your guides, they may sometimes appear in an Akashic record session if they have an important message to convey to you. That is an exception rather than the norm. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you would like to read about my dialogues and reflections with the Akashic Masters, you can visit my free blog at asha-akashicrecords.com. Till next time, take care.